hair's wet, got no makeup on, ready to go to bed, go to work in the morning.
Steelers lost, so I had to flip that around.
What is up, Flick fans? It's your gal, Madison, and your other gal, Austin.
Hi, how you doing?
Called you a girl.
I know you did. So what I'm doing is just filming us in front of a green screen.
It's a background
and you
still,
can even
right?
see, it's still a background, that counts, right? We'll figure out the kinks eventually, but right now we are talking about the brand new movie called 12 Strong,
Nice.
a movie that I didn't really know. I called it 12 Soldiers a while ago, but I didn't really know if I was looking
right.
forward to this or not. Madison, were you looking forward to this movie?
No.
Okay, so this movie was directed by Nikolai, that guy, can't say the last name. Madison, this movie was something that was very interesting to me because Chris Hemsworth leading a movie not called Thor is a very interesting prospect. You guys know how my reviews work. I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. Let's get into it. I will start off with this. This movie really impressed me in terms of I thought it was going to be bad going in. I don't judge. Sometimes these movies hit in January and they don't hit as well as you want them to. 12 Strong actually kind of exceeded my expectations just because they were so low. This was a very well shot action/war film. The camera angles were really good. The aerial shots were beautiful. Some of the shots of the helicopters and the airplanes in the air were really well filmed.
I thought it was fine. It wasn't horrible. It was okay.
It's okay.
I mean, I guess I could say the sound design, sound effects.
Oh, yeah, the sound effects and sound design was something that really impressed me. When you're in a theater, a lot of people aren't fans of really loud, obnoxious noises. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Transformers!
I thought the goriness was good. I enjoy when they don't hold back. Like
Yeah.
war movies you see.
Listen, they went all out. There's some imagery in here that was kind of frightening, but it's a war film. You expect things like that, and I really enjoyed that as well. Chris Hemsworth is interesting to me. I thought he gave a really solid performance. Madison has some dislikes, but for me, I think the guy really killed this role. Yeah, sure, you hear the accent at times, and I start the movie off just wanting Thor, not getting Thor, but overall, he had a lot of charisma. He carried the film. Michael Pena brings the humor. Michael Shannon brings a really solid performance. The core group, the 12 people that we start the movie with, they were all really good. They fed off of each other. There is a relationship between one of the soldiers and one of the people that helps them. It's actually a young boy. Their relationship, it sounds weird when I say it, but their relationship in the movie was really heartwarming, surprising, and that was one of my favorite parts of the film.
That was one of my few favorites.
Yeah, it was few. Listen to her. I enjoyed this movie, and I think it was a pretty solid war movie. Not great, but we'll talk about what I didn't like about it here in just a second. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with, I just don't think Chris Hemsworth can be the main character. It just wasn't a good pick for me. Because all you can think is Thor. His American accent isn't very good. I don't care what you say. It wasn't very good. It was distracting. And it's distracting that he's the main character. He just doesn't transition well from his iconic role as Thor to this American hero. It doesn't work for me. And the green screen, I can't. If I can tell it's a green screen.
There was one
Help me.
shot in this movie. It was a specific scene. It's supposed to be this intense, heartfelt scene with Chris Hemsworth talking. It's something that you can tell his specific shot, it was just on him. That was a reshoot because the other guys, they're standing in this big desert with mountains behind them. You go to Chris Hemsworth, and it's the most obvious green screen I've ever seen. And I completely agree with you. It took me out of the movie completely. That whole moment wasn't ruined for me, but it was tarnished by the obvious green screen, and I just don't know why they had to have that specific shot in there.
The dialogue was off for me. It just didn't work. I don't know. And the whole plot, like, I understand it's a true story, right? They can only work with so much with what happened in the story. But with a war movie, you have all this opportunity to create these conversations and this dialogue that makes the movie.
It's true.
You have to have the story, like with him and his wife.
Okay, you know what? I can agree with you on that point because the whole movie builds up the relationships of the families. You don't really get any resolution when it comes to those storylines except for Chris Hemsworth. And even that, the scene when he walks in with the wife, it's bad acting on her part. I didn't think the kid was a good actress as well, and then just the whole scene, it didn't work. But for me, that wasn't the point in the movie that I needed to hit. I needed needed the scene at the end, no spoilers, I needed that scene to be impactful, and that scene when they're riding on their horses through the desert, that was the scene that really knocked it out of the park for me. That whole battle at the end, what the movie was in my head building up to, I thought that was really good. It was shot really well, and it had some emotional kicks, emotional moments. The storyline with the guy and the kid, everything kind of comes together there, but the movie just drags on out for 15 more minutes. That 15 minutes, if it would have chopped off, my score would be much higher, but that last 15 minutes just kind of, for me.
The climax of the battle was great, yeah, sure. But the whole movie can't be just based on that part.
Oh,
it's
no.
got to tie everything together, and it just didn't tie anything. And that's what half the movie was.
I completely agree with that.
The emotions.
Well, I wouldn't say half the movie. I would say there's a small percentage of the movie that had to do with the relationships and the emotions of the family members and whatever. And that's handled really well throughout, at the beginning, throughout. It's just at the end, it doesn't land. I didn't even need to see the payoff with the family because you know what happens at the end. You know who specifically survives out of the 12. I thought it was handled really well. And then past that point, it kind of falls flat. I completely agree with you there.
I just didn't believe it. And especially with all the amazing war movies that came out in 2017.
2017, 2016, Hacksaw Ridge, all those. Yeah,
I know,
and
it's like, it just felt like another war movie.
Well, I know some people like my best friends in the Army right now. You know, you watch a war movie, you get a little more emotional than you expect to get. And sure, there's some cheesy dialogue in there, some weird moments.
I walked out of Hacksaw Ridge, you're like, oh.
Oh, this was not Hacksaw Ridge.
You walked out of Dunkirk, and you're like,
this is not Dunkirk.
Oh my God.
I agree.
And this was like,
yeah.
Okay. My score, because of everything that I've mentioned, I have to go 53.
Oh, she's going rotten. Oh, she's going rotten.
I just can't recommend this to anybody.
No, that's okay. Listen, I see problems in there. There were definite flaws, but this was a very impactful war movie for me, and I'm going to give it a 70%. Nothing you can run home and tell mom about, but it's still a solid movie, and if you have some free time, I definitely recommend it. Maybe it won't impact you as much as it did me, and there's definitely some weird moments in there, but I thought it was okay. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Two different opinions. You have both sides of the spectrum. I think that's pretty cool. She's Madison. I'm Austin. Comment your thoughts below. Catch me on Stardust, where I'm doing movie reviews every single day. You are the absolute every day of my life. You're
the absolute best.
I'll catch you later.